Please, be seated. I'll start, if I may, with you, Ed. Well, first of all, congratulations on your new flight.
Yeah, you got to start with Tony.
Yeah.
You got to start with Tony.
Yeah, all right.
He's accomplished something this week.
You said you were going to fly in 25, and you were going to start, and you have. Tell me.
Richard, you know the brand is Riyadh, the brand is Riyadh, the brand is Riyadh. And I always say it 3 times, because the gift was that brand name. The name of the capital city of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we will connect to over 100 international cities within the next 5 years. 26th of October, obviously this Sunday just gone, we launched our first commercial service to London Heathrow. So we're in the game. We are in the game. We are in the game. It was an important step, a small step, and the analogy I've been using all day, this is like training for the Olympics. It takes years of hard work. It takes dedication. Sometimes there's pain. We've just got to the starting line. There's a lot still to do. And that's why we're delighted. We've got a partnership with the likes of Mr. Ed Bastian and Delta, because they've been in this game for 100 years.
Yeah,
the wisdom they've got is incredible.
So we have the newborn over here, and we have
the old guy,
the senior citizen. 100 years of Delta. You've just announced that you're going to be flying to the kingdom.
Exactly.
Starting the next year. The critics sort of snidely suggest it's because there are subsidies available when you fly to Saudi at the moment. But the reality is it's part of a much bigger, strategic, longer term. Explain.
Well, we have not flown to the region in a very long time. And one of the reasons why was there's some very big airlines sitting to the north out of Dubai and Doha and Abu Dhabi that don't partner well. We want to work with somebody that partners well, somebody that brings a home base, a market that we can bring our customers to that can explore the kingdom. But it's bigger than that. This is about 2 nations that need to build better bridges. And the importance of the strategic alignment between the US and the kingdom is going to be enhanced by not just what Tony's doing flying, but what Delta's doing, bringing US citizens into the market. Because for many years, there was a lot of uncertainty as to what was here.
But I'll come to you just 1 second, Jane, but it's going to take some time for this new route to grow, obviously, as all routes do. But I guess the difference, and this is a unique aspect to it, you're going to be growing your route while your principal partner is growing like a weed in a garden
yes.
in a hot garden, on a hot summer's day, going gangbusters.
Well, when we fly from Riyadh back to Atlanta, don't forget we're flying to the biggest airport in the world with 1,000 flights a day. So it's not just connecting Riyadh to Atlanta, it's connecting one-stop Riyadh to the world.
How important is the Delta aspect to it?
So it's super important, Richard. We cannot fulfill our ambition without great partnerships. And we've launched a concierge app. So you were talking about AI before, and you go on our concierge app in the future. Let's imagine you put Phoenix in, you put Baltimore in. That concierge app will, of course, allow you to put it in the basket as an order. The AI will give you other options, suggestions as what you might to add to it. But the point is this: Riyadh Air will not be flying direct to Baltimore or Phoenix, Arizona. Having an incredible partnership through Delta, through Atlanta, maybe through New York City, that connectivity will be there seamless, but it'll be both ways for people who importantly want to come and visit the incredible destination attractions here in the kingdom that His Excellency the Minister was describing earlier.
Jane, the gentlemen have done a very good job of extolling the virtues of what they are about, what they're about to offer and what they are offering and the reasons. But what is it the customer wants when they're booking? Trip.com, absolutely vast in size, you know what
Right.
people need. What is it they want?
Yeah, so customers want something that's very unique. So we have seen destinations with great innovation have been attracting lots of customers. Riyadh, because of the hard work put together by the Ministry of Travel and Tourism, become #1, not only in GCC countries or in Middle East or in Asia, they become #1 fastest growing city in the whole world on Trip.com platform. Thanks for everyone's hard work.
But how, to some extent, where do you want the customer to go when they book? You'd like them to go to your website, you'd like them to go to yours, and you really want them to go to yours. And at the same time, me as the customer wants to ensure that I'm going to get the best price or value, and I can't know that, you know, which is going. You see where I'm going with this? How do I know where to go?
I think airlines provide very good services for their direct customers. Hotel does the same thing. What Trip.com does is a comprehensive solution. So normally our customers will make airline booking first. For example, if they are flying from Singapore to Riyadh using a business class or first class tickets, then we'll promote a 5-star, 6-star hotel to them. We'll make a limousine service for them. We'll recommend a spa when they check in. So the total solution is something we can offer compared to the other players in the market.
You see, I understand this complementary aspect to it,
Yeah.
but you really want people to go direct to you to book the ticket.
And the majority do
So how-
already. But we have 200 million customers a year, right? 200 million customer journeys a year. So we need all sources of distribution that complement and they work very compatibly with us. 60% of those come directly to us on our app. That number continues to grow. We have very large agency bookings from the corporate space, the big companies. They have their own agencies. We work seamlessly with our own business app for them. And then internationally, almost 25% of our international bookings are from out of market. You know, in China, in Saudi Arabia, in other parts of the world. They don't know the Delta app that well. So there's utility for us all, but I don't think the issue for consumers anymore is about price. I think there's some. The issue is about the brand and the experience, which is where you see the real value in this space.
Pick up.
So for us, it's real simple. We had the gift of the name of the brand, which I mentioned earlier, but we also had the gift of no legacy. So we weren't encumbered by traditional aviation systems, the likes of Amadeus or Sabre. We've had the opportunity to curate a digital platform that embraces modern technology. We've got more in common with Amazon, or in our part of the world, Noon.com, than any legacy ticketing system. But of course, what that gives you as the traveler, Richard, is ease of use. It gives you the ability to put multiple people, as I mentioned before, your family, into the basket, but also to be able to curate experiences. And the genius of Trip.com's model is the curation of experiences. It doesn't preclude us working with the likes of Jane. What this is all about is giving you, the traveller, better experience and better choice.
You both want the customer.
Oh, so
Can you both have the customer?
I agree. I think travel is a very big industry. It represents 10% of the global GDP. Not one company can do everything all by themselves. For example, Delta is very strong in the USA. Almost everyone knows Delta in the USA. But when they fly back from Asia back to United States, local players can support a lot on Delta's returning routes.
So can I give you another illustration of that, Richard? So our biggest partnership, which you know well, is American Express. At Delta, we are their biggest partner. They are our biggest partner. For many years, we argued this question back and forth. Who owns the customer? Is it the credit card provider or is it the airline and the rewards you're receiving? About a decade ago, Steve Squeri, the CEO, and I got together and we said, neither of us own the customer. We own the customer together. And as a result of that, the focus is how do you make a bigger pie for more customers rather than arguing who gets what slice of the pie. And the relationship has grown 3x in the last 10 years off of already a very large base because of that decision. And we take that same attitude with the relations with our air partners, our agency partners.
What changed once you'd come to that realization, though? So how did that change manifest itself?
Well, what changed is that we both understand we have to invest in each other. We have to have the same level of excellence and reliability. And there's a certain standard of excellence to become a partner.
AI is now the I was going to say new kid on the block, but it's sort of relatively. How do you envisage AI both assisting you as an airline or as a travel company and assisting me as the consumer? I told you I did my entire summer holiday. Chris and I did our entire summer holiday using AI. And it was phenomenal. We would stop in France, or Spain, we would see an old building, a church or something. You'd just take a picture, send it to chat or whatever, and you'd suddenly have that little bit more information. But that's at one level. At your level, how would you use it?
So AI is an incredible tool. It gives us the opportunity to curate in a smarter way and personalize. And all of that's really important. And because, as I mentioned before, Richard, we've started with no legacy, we've been able to build it into the fabric of what we're doing. But I'd like to actually echo two things. One is the wisdom of my friend, Mr. Ed Bastian, who I listen to regularly, going back to the founder of Delta, who says, look after your people. If you look after your people, they will look after your customer, in our context, the guest. If you look after the guest, they'll become loyalty. If they become loyal, that will look after your shareholder. Those principles have lasted for the last 100 years. For sure, it's a doctrine going forward. And therefore, back to His Excellency the Minister before, whilst AI is essential, we're in the hospitality business. Hospitality business is how we make you feel, Richard. And a lot of that is about people. It's about the warmth of the culture here within the kingdom, Hafawa, and the way we will have an obsessional attention to detail when it comes to guest experience. Is AI important? Absolutely it is. But are people more important? I believe the answer to that is yes.
I'm just going to stay with you on this before to you, Jane. When I hear what you say and accept what the founder of Delta says, but how do you do it? How do you actually take those principles, look after your people, or the cascading thing, and not just make it lip service, not just turn it into a slogan, but turn it into a reality?
Okay, I'd probably give you an example from this week. So I mentioned before, we're super proud. We started our first ever commercial service on Sunday the 26th. Something quite romantic about that, the day before, obviously the 25th, was when Emirates started 40 years earlier. Well, back to your question around the people, we had a big town hall meeting on the 26th, and I was delighted that our friend Mr. Ed Bastian came and addressed our people, because the doctrine we've got is share everything with the family first, because if they've got a passion with the brand and everything that goes with that, it will translate into service. Final example, our cabin crew, we released the fashion at the Paris Fashion Week. We wanted to make them feel like they looked like $1 million, because the psychology of that, Richard, is if they feel like they look $100 million, they'll make you and they'll serve you like you're $100 million.
For trip.com with AI, the danger is that customers go elsewhere. How do you keep people in the trip.com walled garden, in a sense, so that I'm not going to chat and then to this, then, and then you ensure to a large extent I stay within your family group?
Yeah, so we still need to stress on the core competence of our team, which is customer service. When you call our call center, within 30 seconds, 24 hours times 7, a live person will answer the call to help you to solve the issue. If you run into crisis, for example, Japan had a tsunami, Middle East had a crisis, within 2 minutes, our team will reach out to the customers on the ground.
That's
making
expensive.
Sure.
That's expensive because that requires people.
Yeah, for emergencies, we can afford that. So our team is very well trained during this crisis mode to reach out to the customers, move them to the safe hotel, offer hot meal, hot shower. The very next day, if our customers in this disastrous zone wants to come back, we'll discuss with our airline partners to rescue them. So these kind of services give peace in mind for our customers globally. We have 500 million customers on our platform. The service makes us stand out.
How many?
500 million customers.
Richard, I'd argue it's more expensive if she doesn't do it that way, because she's going to lose the customer. Because then it becomes a commodity. And then it's a race to the bottom.
Right.
People call her agencies because they want to talk to someone. They want help. They want confidence. They want alternatives.
Right.
You can have technology. It's going to create it. But I don't believe that's what people really come to our business. They come for experience and expertise and knowing someone's going to be behind this.
So how do you balance that on the, with the requirement of AI that you need to, the cost basis that you want to get down as much as you can, whilst also wanting to have that individual and personalized service? It becomes three-dimensional chess.
It does, and I think AI, listen, these are early days. It's hard to know where this is going. Clearly it's going someplace. I prefer to call AI augmented intelligence, because this helps us do a better job. It helps those customers calling Jane or calling our staff or Tony's to be able to get better insights quicker. It actually enhances the service level. It doesn't replace the human. I think anyone thinking that in a service business, if you're focused on replacing human beings, you're going down a commodity path. And if you want to be a premium brand, you better make sure your people are with you, not thinking that they're going to be outsourced eventually someday.
How difficult is that? I'll just stay with you, Ed. How difficult has that been to maintain and hold that line in an era of higher rising costs? I would say 15 years ago, it was all about cutting the costs. Mm-hmm. It was all about commoditizing. Yep. This new mantra, if you will, it's very difficult to do.
We've been already doing it. I said 60% of our revenues come to Dell. They're coming on the app, right? They're not coming through calls. They're coming directly on the app already, because the app has utility and customers feel more control of their experience when they're on the app, which frees us to actually, in person, give them the human touch that they need.
When you were looking at partners, everybody wanted to a certain extent. You weren't short of offers, I believe.
I think, we've been very fortunate, because this is guided through the wisdom of His Royal Highness with Vision 2030, and the fact that a new national carrier was a key part of that. We need better connectivity in the kingdom. We're not as connected as we should be by any stretch of the imagination today. But as I said before, Richard, we can't do it without great partners. So we've got 10 now, but obviously Delta, best airline in the world, in my opinion, gives a unique opportunity for connectivity within the whole North American continent. But if I can just go back to an earlier point, because we're talking about loyalty, which is a common theme throughout all of it. We're the first airline in history that launched the loyalty program on exactly the same day as we launched the airline. It's called Sphere. And the only reason why I mention this quickly is how you create loyalty and therefore connect people that stay with you. We had the unique opportunity to do something different here, because I would argue that airline loyalty programs way back in the day was probably the first ever example of a cryptocurrency, because you were earning a currency that you could actually convert into value. But the only difference, of course, was you could never share it with your family or your friends. You couldn't give it away. Right. And if you didn't use it, it was wasted. What Sphere allows is the opportunity within your own personal sphere, if you nominate friends and family, to touch phones and connect it. So I think you should join up very quickly, Richard.
Well, but Ed, you know from experience what happens when you make changes to a frequent flyer policy and your frequent flyers rebel en masse, and you're on the wrong. And to your absolute credit, you spotted the way that had gone. You recognized that this had been an indiscretion,
Yep.
and you reversed.
Yeah, we made some changes. You know, we talk about loyalty, we talk about premium experiences. One of the challenges we have, the interest in the demand in that's grown far faster than the airline. So the demand on the actual ability to deliver experiences causes you to make change. But I think we're in a good spot on that, and the majority of our customers not only are still with us, the loyalty has grown again.
Final question to you, well, Joel. What would you advise Tony? He's in the unique position of starting from scratch.
Right.
A phenomenally brilliant position for any CEO with risks. What would you advise?
Yeah, I think for airlines, they invest very heavily in technology. Tony has an advantage to start from the scratch. As he said, they didn't have the burden from the legacy system. So looking at AI, looking at all the partners around the world, they should build a very robust system going forward.
And
very responsive.
And what's the one change you hope to make at Trip.com? What do you think you want to change in the next 2 years?
We invest heavily in AI and technology. We have about 10,000 engineers in-house developing our platform. So we already see 4 areas which have generated great results. The first one is the user's interface. In the past, we need to say, I need a 5-star hotel, 2 kids, 2 pets, swimming pool. The search engine will search for us. Now you can talk to Trip Genie on our platform, have a conversation with them. The system automatically study your pattern, your anniversary, how many children, and give you exactly what you need. So the user's interface is more friendly. The second thing is for engineering's coding time. Last year, our VP of engineer told me he can save 15 to 30% of the coding time for engineering team. Wow. This year, he told me the work they used to take 5 days can be shrinked to 1 to 2 days. Huge uplift for the productivity. The third one is the customer satisfaction rate using AI is enhanced. And lastly is the content generation. Using AI, we can generate audio, video, picture much more effectively. And technology is still evolving. We'll be able to utilize it even more going forward.
Ed, do you have a sort of, do you look at Tony with a slight envy and wistfulness that he has the ability to start from a clean sheet? And you think of all the things that you have to deal with.
Yeah, it's more than a slight bit of that.
I was being tactful.
But that's the beauty of this relationship. You're talking about the oldest airline in the United States, one of the oldest airlines in the world, with the youngest airline in the world, forming a partnership. This doesn't happen in the real world very often. And we're looking to grow as much from how he's approaching it, unencumbered by any historical practice or loyalty change you need to make and whatnot, thinking true clean sheet. At the same time, we can bring our expertise back in terms of the core reliability, the actual, airlines are hard. These are technically challenging monsters that we operate, and we make it look seamless. And it's easier said than done, and being able to give that confidence back to Tony as to how you do that, the hard work behind the scenes is going to be, it's a great marriage.
I think that's such an understated point, that the technological, the monster nature of an airline to fit it all together. Well, you've got 1 flight in the air. When does your next one start?
Well, we like to tease and reveal, Richard, but we've already announced that the second destination will be Dubai. And then when we take the delivery of the next aircraft, we'll then tease and reveal the next one. But the good news is there are aircraft coming off the production line now in Charleston, South Carolina, beautiful Boeing 787s. They'll be coming at approximately 1 a month all the way to the end of this year. When it then next year, when it then goes to 2 a month, and when we get into the following year, it'll again go up to 3 a month. So back to this
My
Sunday.
God, that is a hell of a ramp up.
It was a very small step back to the analogy of training for the Olympics. We're only at the starting line.
All right.
Humbly, we've not picked up any medals yet, but the Kingdom, Riyadh Air, will have to get a gold medal. And the way we'll get there faster is working with incredible partners.
Thank you very much, our panel. Thank you very much. Safe journeys home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.